the track was a bit wet, wet, but we were on slicks, and I love these conditions. And then Fernando just came to the afternoon, when the track was just dry. He first session, bam, 1 second faster than me. I was, man, what?
I don't think anyone actually really knows the price of an F3 seat.
I don't think it's a problem to say that, to be honest, because, it's more, I don't know, depending, top team is more than... There is so many good drivers there, it's difficult to say. They would be all the same,
Who's the worst driver?
Who is the worst?
Welcome to the Pitstop podcast.
Ladies and gents, welcome back to Pitstop. I'm happy, all right, because this is our second guest in a row. We did Brad Benavides yesterday, and now we've got another very special guest sat in front of us today.
An amazing guest who has stayed in London an extra day to make this happen. We're very thankful for that. Ladies and gentlemen, Gabriel Bortoleto. Thank you very much. Let's go. Now, this is mega straight off the bat because you are smashing it in F3. I want to go straight there.
Hell yeah.
Well, first of all, thank you for the invite, guys. I'm very happy to be here. And let's talk a bit of the season and everything. I'm very happy. Season has been a dream coming true for me. First year leading the championship, so not bad.
Yeah, by a lot of points as well. Like, I just checked how many points ahead of you are in front of the guy who's in second. Like, you're killing it.
Yeah, 36 points in front, three rounds left now. So let's see how things go. We cannot. We cannot relax now because there is still three rounds left, and each win is 25 points. So even if I'm 36 in front, it's so easy to suddenly lose these points in case you don't do a good weekend.
You could still lose it now with 3 races left.
Yes. It's for sure. If I keep doing the results that I am doing, the chance of losing is very low. But my target is still to win one race at least this season. Because winning one race, I think it will be much more comfortable on my side because it's 25 points. So let's see how things go. 3 rounds left in tracks that I know from the past seasons that I've done, and let's see.
So you're currently racing with Trident.
Yes.
Yep. And so making that step into Formula 2, if it happens, do you stay with that team or could you pick a different team? Or how does that work? I'm not sure how it works.
Yeah. So it's quite early in the season now. Still, we are in July, and but everyone starts to talk about this time of the year, about F2 season. Who is staying in F3? Who is going? On my case, it's a bit more clear for me because we expect me to finish in the top 3 in the championship this season from the results that we are having already. So it's easier for me to say I'm stepping up to F2.
Yep.
Because normally you step up after your rookie season if you finish top 3, If you finish top 5, there's a chance of you repeating the year in F3. But yeah, let's see how Trident goes until the end of the year. I love this team. They're making my biggest dreams coming true, from being a championship leader in my rookie season in F3. So yeah, it all depends how they perform this year, and yeah.
It's incredible. It's incredible how you're doing in your rookie year in F3. But before this season, did you go into the year expecting or thinking that you would, be top of the championship right now? Where were you at going into it? I see the smile.
Look, as a driver, you always expect something good from your side. I know my qualities and I know my weaknesses as well. To be fair, I never had a season that like I'm having this season. I'm never leading the championship. 3 rounds left with 36 points ahead. Frack, I finished 5th. In F4, if I'm not wrong, I finished 5th as well. So let's say I was never a superstar in the single seaters. I was there, always good, winning races in every category I've been through.
Yeah.
But I never won the championship. So I did some great results in karting. But this is the first season that I really have the capacity and the results to finish in the top 3 and win the championship. So I was not expecting to be straight away on pace because at the first 2 rounds of the season I won. So this was a bit surprising also for myself, because from the first test in Jerez, after the season finished last year, I was P1 by 5/10 on P2 on the second day. So And then in the third day, they came closer, but they didn't beat my time. But still, I was 5/10 quicker in the second day that I sit in the car. And I never tested a car faster than a Freca. So
What's a Freca?
Freca is Formula Regional by Alpine.
Oh, okay,
Is the
okay.
category that I've driven last season.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a much slower car. It's around, I think, 6 seconds, 5 seconds lower than the F3. Much less downforce, much less power. So, and everyone has already tested the GP3 car, you know. So GP3 is the car that normally the drivers test before jumping to F3 because it's the most similar nowadays.
Got it. Yeah.
That you can test, because F3 you cannot test every day. So I went directly for the test, no expectations at all, and then bam, P1 5/10. I was like, man,
That's mega.
what was that, you know? But I felt very good with the car and the team. So you start to create expectations, but I say maybe it's only one day, you know, maybe one day that I did very well, and then from every test I was doing well.
What's the top speed of a F3 car? What could you max out at?
I think in Monza we will reach, I think 300, probably 300
That's
kilometers.
I don't know what that
Wow.
is in mile per hour.
I think so. I'm not so sure.
Any idea?
No, I can't translate that.
Sounds pretty quick.
What do you think clicked at the beginning of this year then? That if you stepped in and straight into P1, like maybe even away from the racing? Because I feel like a racer has to be in a great mindset, like mentally or off the track as well, to be able to get in. So in your life right now, how do you think you were able to step in? What's clicked? Well, why do you think you're suddenly winning now if you haven't won before?
I think I've changed quite a lot of stuff from my routine from last season to this season. First, I moved to Milan, where my team is based, and I'm living alone now. Before I was living with a family, not my family, a family that came with me to Europe when I was 11, because, you know, I started
family, like they look after you.
Yes, exactly. But they are not like a host family, because he was my coach at the time. Since I was 8 years old, he started working with me in karting, and we've been working like every day since last season. This season he's living in Brazil, but still with me, you know. Some races he's coming, some races he's staying in Brazil, but we always keep the contact. But as I turned 18 last season, I decided I say, look, I want to live alone. I want to, you know, get more responsibilities to myself as well, to get more mature and stuff. So yeah, I decided to live alone, and, you know, you need to figure out everything by yourself, you know. Like, I didn't have anyone else to make this. If I left the laundry there, it wouldn't clean by itself. So you started to be more mature and doing things. So I think even if this seems stupid, it's a big step for the racing career as well, because you start to realize small details that makes the difference at the end of the day.
Yeah, you become more independent, and that
Exactly. Yeah.
ultimately makes you better at racing, I guess.
Yes, I believe in the same, because at the end, I worked myself much more this season than what I've done the last years, you know. Also physically sane, also my mental I was much more relaxed this season, you know. Rookie season, I was not expecting, there was no pressure on me, like, you need to win, you need to finish top 3. No, to be fair, the beginning of the year, everyone was saying like, okay, just do one season in F3, do your best, we hope you do well, because we knew that the car was good. But the plan is to do 2 seasons, and yeah, we will see how things go. And then, man, P1 first 2 rounds, and then, you know, we kept doing good results, and yeah, here we are, 3 rounds left, and we are P1. So
That's mega. You know.
Do you remember how it all began back in Brazil? Like the story of how you first got in a car?
Yes, basically everything started with my brother. No, he's 6 years older than me, and he started racing when he was 7. But because of financial conditions at the time, one member of my family tried the go-kart of him, and he crashed, and we didn't have the money to pay for a new go-kart for him. I was 2 years old at the time, so I was not even, I didn't know how to talk even. so and then he stopped for like 4 or 5 years, and then he came back. And when he came back to racing, I was already 6, turning 7. So I went to the races. But the real thing was, when I was going there, I liked cars, like go-karting and
Yeah.
stuff, but I like the podium, you know, all the kids on podium winning trophies and stuff. I was like, man, I want this, you know, I really want to go to the podium. I want to win these things. That was my passion too, if I was not even the karting. So
You just want to win. You
yeah,
don't-
I just want to win, you know. That was my thing. And then I told my father I want to try this, because I did some go-karting, no, indoor karting, you know, this that you go to shopping mall and there is.
Yeah.
So he gave me the opportunity, but it was no practice, nothing. He just threw me in the race, bam. So I was spinning around the whole race. Everyone was making fun of me, but I was there happy. There was 6 go-karts, and in Brazil we have 6 places on the podium. So I got my trophy in my first race.
Oh, wow. That's lovely.
Finishing P but I was still so happy, man. I went back home with my trophy. I put it in my room, and I was like so happy. And then from that day, I started to practice, and yeah, I started winning races. But you know, my dream was winning. That was my motivation. And then I started liking racing, you know. But this came after I did 2-3 races, and then I really started liking racing, because when you are racing but you see everyone beating you, you know, you don't like it so much. But yeah, after I started winning, I started to like.
What's your favourite part about racing? I don't think we've ever asked a driver that, but like going into a race weekend, what's your favourite part? Like the qualifying session, or the first couple of laps, or what bit do you enjoy most?
I think nowadays I enjoy a lot quali.
Just the podium. You
because
enjoy the podium these days.
Yeah. The best part of the weekend is for sure when you win the race. It doesn't change. But like nowadays I like qualifying, because it's the moment that you can show yourself and everyone that if you do the pole, you are the quickest.
Yeah.
And that's what I like, to be the quickest, because you know the race depends a lot of all the conditions. Sometimes, you know, you cannot win, but or you win because someone had a flat spot, or they crash. But the real thing is the real satisfaction for me is when I do pole position. I love it, man. That's the best feeling I can get in the race weekend. But in go-karting times, I loved racing, because you know it's much more aggressive, overtakes there and there. You don't need to be the fastest to win races in go-kart, because you can just be good at racing and you will win. So I think my mindset changed from go-karting to formulas.
And when you moved out of Brazil, what was that like for your family? Like when you had to go away, and who did you go with? See, this is when you moved in with your mentor.
Yes. So basically, from what I told you, at the beginning, when I started racing, they just throw me in the world of racing, no practice, and I was spinning everywhere. And it was exactly the same thing when I moved to Europe. There was never a plan to me to start doing things, you know. It was all about trusting people that were around me, and we trust this family, and I still trust them a lot. That's why they still work with me. So basically, we were in my beach house in Brazil, and my father asked this coach, Francesco is his name, and he asked, if Gabriel wants to become an F1 driver, what does he need to do? Because, you know, my family didn't have any experience in the motorsport world, so we didn't know anything.
Had the trainer worked with anyone else before you, like anyone?
Yeah, his son, it's a driver, professional driver in Brazil. Yeah. He's a very successful driver in Brazil, and he did karting in Europe. He raced formulas in Europe, and he's 7 years older than me as well. He's in the same age as my brother. So we were in this beach house 2 months before the year after start, so we were in November, and my father asked him, look, what does Gabriel need to do to become an F1 driver if he wants, because that was my dream now. So the guy looked at him and said, okay, he needs to go to Europe to race in Europe. So my father looked at me and he said, okay, so pack your bags, because in 1 month you are moving to Europe.
Wow.
And he told this guy, are you able to go with him? Like, you want to go with him, to live there with him? So the guy was a bit in shock, you know, because it was a bit the beginning also of our relationship of coach, driver. Yeah. So he didn't know so well my father. So it was also about trusting my parents and my parents trusting him at the same time. So he said yes. So he went with his wife. He's two kids, not kids because they were already overage. Like they were both plus 18.
Yeah.
So they moved to Europe, to Italy with me, him and his wife. And we started the season in 2016. Mid 2016 we did some races, and 2017 we moved to Europe to live there.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
That's insane. Like, just me and him living together for the last 2 years, you know, we're pretty close now, you know, like we feel like we're brothers. And so you and your trainer, you must have that same relationship. And I guess it's still fairly fresh, but I mean, do you think you'll stay with him now for forever, or?
Absolutely, yeah. As I said, he doesn't live with me anymore. We don't have the contact that we had before. Like every day I woke up, you know, the first face that I see in the morning is him, because he was in the same house as me. Nowadays it's not like this anymore. But we talk every race week. We talk every week, you know, not only about racing, because I still have a very good relationship. It's like my second father, because, you know, when I was 11, we started living together. So we created this relationship, and we still have a very good contact. And I told him already, even if we don't work anymore like coach and driver, because, you know, I'm living alone and he's living in Brazil, he's not coming to all the races, but he's still helping me a lot in my mental stuff, because he's the guy that knows me better than anyone. So he knows just looking at my eyes when I'm feeling good or not. You know, so I think he will be with me forever. Yes.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
Do you remember when you went to Europe, who were the first drivers you met? Like other people that you met that are like on the grids now, and people you raced with? Because everyone has to make the same move to Europe, right? So I just wonder who was there then.
I think from... Oh, sorry. Again, I'm...
That's okay. No, everyone hits it all the time.
I think... from the guys that you know,
just on the grids,
because I had some teammates in my first team, but they are not in F3. But for example, the first drivers that I met, it was Dennis Hauger, Gabriel Mini, that is an F3 now, Beganovic, who else in F3 grid? All the guys that in the top 5, I would say, we raced together in go-kart. That was the first guys, you know, we always raced against each other in go-karting. We always had the same categories at the same year, because we have the same age, so... And
are you all friends? Would you say you're a group of friends?
Yes. Mainly with Beganovic, Gino, because, I don't know, we created this relationship when we were teammates in Prema 3 years ago. Yeah, in my first season in Formula 4.
Yeah.
And also with Mini, we were friends, and it's difficult to have close friends in this sport, you know, because when you race against each other, a little touch that you have with the guy, you want to kill him. So. But
that's where it gets so weird for me. Like I don't know. I mean, I've never done racing, so like we do a little bit on the sim. Like I'll go on the sim, he goes on the Xbox, and we'll race together. And sometimes I want to fucking kill him as well, you know. But for the most part, we just get along. Right?
Yeah, I think. It's difficult. I try to always separate professional side from personal side, but it's difficult, you know, when you crash with someone, it's not the best feeling you can get with the guy, you know, because you always think that the guy is, I don't know, a dickhead, and the guy feel the same on you, so yeah. But at the end of the day, one week after, 1 month after, everything's okay again. So, but it's difficult to build this relationship, you know, like really friends like I have with other people, because you always want to beat each other, you know. And
you said earlier that you know what your weaknesses are, like when you race. What do you think your weaknesses are? Because I don't see many weaknesses right now.
If I tell you, people will know my weakness. So.
True. All right.
No, I know what I need to improve, but it's not my job to. People need to figure out what do I need to do and where they can beat me, you know. Because if I tell, people will probably go on that things. So
but there is a way to beat you then.
For sure, no one is unbeatable. I think everyone is. Unless you are an F1 legend like Ayrton Senna or Michael Schumacher. Alonso, exactly. Yep. So all these guys, they're all still beatable, you know.
Yeah.
But they have some, like, they don't have a big margin, you know. You need to really to go in that little thing that they have. And in F3, we are still building ourselves. We are still growing in the sport. So we still have, let's say, bigger margins that people can see and beat you.
Yeah.
I can say that this season, maybe I'm the one that has less of these things because I have done less mistake than the others probably on terms of crashing in the races. And I've done points in we have done 6 rounds now, I think. Yeah, 6 rounds, and I finished on points in all of them, apart of race 1 in Bahrain, the reverse grid, because that was the only race that I crashed with some guys. So
Was that your fault or someone else's fault?
no, to be fair, it's difficult to say. You know, the guy closed on me and we crashed.
Yeah.
I got the penalty at the end, but it's difficult to say. I could have avoided because I was very close to the guy, you know, and first race of the year, everyone wants to make the points. So
Yeah.
he tried to defend, but I was too close, maybe, you know. So I don't know. But yeah, let's people figure out what is my weakness.
Do you wish that every single car was exactly the same? Would you prefer that? I mean, I don't know how it is in F3. I know they're obviously a lot closer in F3, but you know, moving into F2 and F1, do you think would you prefer it if all the cars were just equal?
I think F3 way of how they organize the championship is nice because it's the same chassis for everyone, it's the same engine, but still the teams has their own tools to make the car faster, you know, the setups and the way that they build the car and everything. In F1 is a bit different. For sure, for the driver, it's better if you have everyone the same car, because the chance of you getting in a Red Bull nowadays to win a championship in F1 is very small, because Verstappen is not living there. You know,
No way.
he's winning races.
Yeah.
He's winning championships. Perez, to be honest, I don't know. He's still a good driver. Everyone knows it.
Yeah,
you
he's
know,
amazing.
he's
He's
not
amazing.
having been through the best races now, but he's still a very good driver. And yeah, so, and they're not going to put a rookie there. So for sure, for a rookie in F1, it's the best thing you can do is having the same car for everyone. Like this, you can show your potential, because you cannot win the race with a Haas.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's a bit. I would love to have equal everything for everyone.
yeah.
So like this, you can really show your potential.
Yep.
So who do you think on the F1 grid, if everyone was in the same car, is the 3 quickest drivers?
I still think Verstappen,
Yeah.
Fernando, and Hamilton. I would say they are the 3 tops.
Yeah.
But
for me.
there is so many good drivers there. It's difficult to say. They would be all the same, you know.
Who's the worst driver?
Who is the worst?
Don't ask that. He left last year.
Could have just shouted Felipe Dragovic. Could have got away with that one.
I do
Sorry,
know,
Felipe,
though.
we love you.
I do. Am I getting this right? Alonso is actually your manager. Is that true?
Yes, his.
Cool.
Since last year, yeah.
Cool. And how's that relationship? Because he's my favourite driver of all time.
He's your favorite driver?
Yeah. Only when I went to Silverstone 2005, when I was a little boy, he won that race.
Okay.
So
cool.
I got to see it in person, and since then he's just been the guy for me.
The thing of Fernando is that first, we have a very good relationship. I think we're not like, we don't talk every day, we don't talk every week, but every time I need him, like to give me an advice, I can easily take my phone here now and text him. You know, I have his WhatsApp number and he will help me,
crazy.
because
Can you
he's a
send that
nice
over?
guy. He's a nice guy and he have a good heart as well. You know, he really wants to push me to become the best I can get. And at the beginning of the season, he was helping me a lot, because, you know, as a rookie, after winning my first race, for sure you start to put a little bit of pressure on yourself, because you want to keep still doing the same results. And he was the guy that was telling me, don't put pressure on yourself, you know, keep calm, do your best that you can do. Here is the advices that I give to you to this track, like in Melbourne, for example. Before the race start, on Wednesday, I went to Aston Martin truck, and he took the tablet that they have with all the track infos and everything, and he showed me.
Cool.
And other A14 drivers as well, the management of Fernando, that is 3 drivers in F3. So we all sitting in the table, and he showed, look, this corner you need to do like that, and that. So it's a professional relationship, I would say. I don't have a personal relationship with him. Like, he's not it's not like here, for example, we are not sitting to take a beer or drink something. No,
We will have beers if you want them.
no, I'm okay, mate. Just to celebrate the championship,
I
mate.
was
Yeah,
going to
yeah,
say
yeah.
that when you won the championship, we'll come back. We'll have some drinks. I would actually love when you next come back to London. We'll go out for dinner and get some drinks. If
Absolutely,
this is
mate.
your first time here, we can take you around. Show
Yeah, that
you
blew
around.
my mind. This is your first time in London
Yes, my first time in London.
and second time in the UK. Did you
Yeah,
say?
you guys just invited me to do the podcast, but not to lunch something or.
Yeah, well,
We can get some food
I was
afterwards.
going to
if you
say,
want.
you got some time
absolutely.
to the flight.
We go
could.
have some lunch after.
Let's do
No
that.
problem.
Let's do that.
That's absolutely great. Yeah, flying home from Luton, and then where do you fly to? Where are you going to
When? Sorry.
tomorrow? When you fly tonight? Where?
I go to Milan to my house. I need to prepare my stuff. I'm going to Trident this week to do some simulator and stuff because we have Hungaroring next week
yeah.
and Spa just after. So yeah.
Two big races, man.
Yeah, yeah. Even if we have the week off, it's never a week off, you know. It's just a little bit more time to work ourselves to the next round. So yeah.
Just going back to what you said about Alonso, I just wonder how that started. Like, did he say, "Oh, I want to manage some people in F3," or were you looking for someone to help you? Like, how did all that start? How did you get involved with Alonso at the beginning?
But everything started in Red Bull Ring F1 race. I was not there. I was in Brazil at the time, but my father went to the race. I've raced in Fernando's team in Freca, this category that I told you, 2 years ago. And he knew who I was because I raced in his team, you know. But we never had the contact, you know. It was just, you know, he knew who I was because I got a podium for his team. But then my father went to this race, and I was I didn't sign any contract to F3 at that point, so I needed someone to help me to step up to F3 in the team that I wanted, that was Trident at the point. So some friends of my father were in this race as well, so he said, "Look, we have someone that maybe can help your son to step up," and yeah, so they presented my father to Albert. That just to explain, there is 3 owners of A14, the management. There is Albert, Alberto, and Fernando. They are the 3 founders of the management. Fernando is the face, you know, because you know he's the face, and he's the one that, you know, is the driver and give the advices to the young guys as well. Albert is the one that follows me in all the races. He's always with me. Whatever I need, he's on my side. Alberto is the guy that is on the side of Fernando for everything. So he does everything with Fernando. And my father met Albert. And at the same day, they met Fernando, Alberto, and they got in contact. They talk a bit. They say, okay, we have interest on Gabriel. My father had interest on them. So they say, okay, we have a deal. They sign, and then they started talking with Trident. We signed the contract 1 week after.
Wow. That's a sick story.
I don't know if it was 1 week after. I can be wrong, but we were very, very soon, let's say, because there was not much time left to the season. So, yeah.
One thing I'd like to ask, and we touched on it with Brad quite a lot yesterday, Brad Benavides, was like the financial side of things. And it's, you know, it's not really spoken about that much, but, you know, you mentioned like it was your brother when he crashed in karting and they couldn't afford to replace the cart. How is that for you? Because I know Brad and his family have had struggles. Was it in F2 or F3 halfway?
Well,
they could only afford half the season, right?
He actually said that he was racing with you at one point and you were both going into a season, but then the car was so shit that he stayed or something, did half a year, and you left before the beginning of the year.
Yeah, so basically what happened is, talking about the financial side first, is nowadays my parents are the one that sponsor my career, no?
Okay.
They helped me since I was in karting.
Is that why you're not wearing like a sponsored T-shirt right now?
Yeah, absolutely. No one is
What do
helping
your
me.
parents say?
If someone wants to sponsor me. No, but as I told you, my father has a company, and luckily, and also a lot of effort from his side, my father is a very smart guy on this way, because he knew that in this world, no one is giving you cash for free. You know, just because you look beautiful. And we want to help you to become an F1 guy. So he said, I need to grow the company enough to be capable to pay for the seasons.
Wow.
And but at the same time, he didn't know how much it was. So he needed to work as much as he could to...
He has no idea how much.
Yeah. And I think he regrets a little bit. No, because we always make fun, no? Because my brother has 2 children now, so we always say, okay, he will be the next driver. And my father's, wait. But yeah, we are lucky that the company got big enough to give us enough money to pay for the season.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not coming in a private jet to the races because we don't have... it's not that... How can I explain this? Like, I cannot afford myself to come in a private plane, stop there, take the best hotel ever, you know. I have the best car in F3, I would say, nowadays. I'm in the best team. It's not missing anything for me, but that's it. I'm not... How can I say this in English?
I know what
Just
you mean.
spunking cash.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's it for me. Like, it's not so easy, let's say, on financial side. I don't want to get so deep on that thing because, you know, it's... Yeah, but it's not so easy, and I don't think it's easy for anyone.
Well, no, we had Brad on yesterday, and obviously the episode isn't out yet, so you wouldn't have had a chance to see it. But just to be completely transparent with you, he said that he was at Silverstone this weekend and he couldn't afford a hotel room. And that just shows you, like, the levels of how you don't really know what's going on. Because a lot of the time, if your car's paid for, you're racing, but you might not necessarily be getting paid to, like...
Yeah,
so
exactly.
You don't get
so the
paid
actual
to race,
driver
right?
might not have any
Yeah,
money,
yeah.
but they'll be doing it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was crazy to hear that from him, no hotel.
No, like, on my side, I have my instructor behind. You know, I'm not on that level, like, missing hotel rooms or something. I know Brad, he's a very nice guy. And
Lovely guy.
I didn't know about this thing, to be fair. I had another view of Brad and his family, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yes, because, you know, he's racing in F2 now. I know it's not cheap, so yeah.
Well, we met them yesterday and we spoke to them, and he was saying to us, that his dad got in a load of debt through F3, through putting him in F3, basically.
Yeah.
And they're now trying to pay that back off. But yeah, just really interesting to hear from drivers. Everyone has a different financial story.
It's not really spoken about enough, and I get it because, you know, no one wants to really talk about money, but I think it's a very important thing that's never spoken about in racing. Like, we don't even know what an F3 seat costs. Like, I think people have muttered to us, like, kind of roughly the price, but I don't think anyone actually really knows the price of an F3 seat.
I don't think it's a problem to say that, to be honest, because, you know, it's more, I don't know, depending. In a top team, it's more than $1 million, probably.
Really?
Yes, in F3.
See, I thought F2 was $1 million.
I thought F3 was sub-mil,
F2,
like
it's
750.
almost the double, to be fair.
Yeah, 2 million.
If you are in a top team, you know.
And what does that cover? Does that mean they will pay for all your flights everywhere?
No.
Just the car?
It's your car.
And you have to then get there
Yeah,
yourself?
but if you crash, you pay. If you... you need to pay everything, you know. But it depends also in the contract, to be fair. There is teams that you pay 2 million, and in F2, for example, and they cover your hotel, they cover your flights, they cover everything. But there is teams that they don't cover anything.
Wow.
You know. But yeah, it depends each driver contract, and also depends of the management if they are able to get less on the budget cap, on the price, on the teams. You know, it's all negotiable.
Yeah.
But it's also expensive it's not that the teams are putting 2 million and they are spending 500k. No, they spend a lot as well.
Yeah.
There is a bit of margin that they make, but it's an expensive sport at the end of the day. That's why not many people have the opportunity to race.
Yeah.
Because it's very, very expensive. And a lot of talented drivers, they're not here anymore because of this, because of money.
Yeah.
And yeah. And talking about Brad's season, that he was talking that we left the team. Basically, what happened is I was moving to my first year in Freca, and I had a lot of expectations of the team that we were going. A lot of promises that they made about car and everything. We went to the pre-season test, and it was very bad, to be fair. We were in the back.
He said you were like both like 3 seconds behind everyone. There was nothing you could do.
Not 3 seconds, but we were always like 1 second, 1 second and a half, depending on the track. And I decided, because, you know, it was not good for myself to do a season and finish in P20 every race.
You need the podiums, eh?
Yeah, I needed to make the results also to continue. You know, it's not that I'm finishing P20 and going into F2. I need the results.
100%, yeah.
So I decided to leave the team. And I left the team at the time, and I moved to FA, Fernando Alonso team. So yeah, and straight in the first race, no practice because I had a problem in this car on the FP. So I went directly for quali, and we were P9. So it was a big step. I was like 3/10 off the pole. So for me, it was a big thing, you know, from being 1.5 seconds off 1 second to 3/10. And that was driving, you know, 3/10 I could take out on driving because no practice in that car. I didn't know the team. I didn't know the engineers. I didn't know anyone. And I was only 3/10 off. So it was very good. So yeah, at the end of the season, we got podiums and top fives everywhere. So it was very good for me.
I think you did the right thing going with Fernando Alonso's team. Have you ever raced at his track? Go-kart at his track in Spain?
Yes, I did.
You have?
Really?
I did in 2017
Yeah.
when I did a European Championship in junior categories. And I did last season. We drove together, me and him.
No way.
Yeah,
What was
December.
that like? Sick.
And the guy's quick.
Yeah, I bet.
Has he still got it in the car?
I will be very honest. I knew that it was his karting track. I knew that he's a guy that is always driving, but I was not expecting him to be so fast in the go-kart like that. You know, because after he's not racing in go-karts.
Well, that's what we've heard. Karting and racing, very different. Very
Yes,
different.
and normally the F1 drivers, they're good in karting, but they're not superstars in karting anymore. They were at the karting times, but because they are they have so much things to do during the season that when they are free, most of them, they don't want to do anything. Like they just want to be home with the family or whatever. So they don't do so much karting, and you lose you lose the feeling of go-karting. You lose that feeling that you have when you drive, and you lose a lot of lap time as well through the years. But Fernando, man, there was some karting guys driving at the same day as us from his team in go-karting that they were winning races in the European Championship. And to be honest, he beat everyone.
Wow. But I see that in his F1 driving. Do you feel that? I feel like the way he drives in F1 kind of resembles his karting. In a way.
His karting, I think F1 is a bit difficult to compare because F1 has so much downforce that you need to be so precise and stuff. But yeah, he's a very aggressive driver.
That's what I mean,
he's still in go-kart doing that. So he has the old driver go-karting style, because if you see in 19s, 80, 90, whatever, you see the drivers, they were always sideways in go-karting and everything. And if you see Fernando nowadays in the actual go-karts, he's still driving like that when everyone is very smooth and everything. But he's able to be very quick on his way of driving in go-karts.
Yeah.
It's his track. He knows every single detail of the track, but still, it was not 1/10 quicker than everyone. He was like 4/10 quicker than... there was one day that, because I was not expecting that, so I went to drive. I was like, okay, I will be as quick as him probably, because I didn't drive for very long already. And then he beated me in the first session. I was the fastest after him, if I remember well. Because I remember now, in the morning the track was a bit wet, but we were on slicks, and I love these conditions.
Okay.
So because I practiced quite a lot that on go-karting in Brazil. And so I was the quickest in that moment. I was like 2 seconds ahead of the guys, because I was able to generate a lot of temp in the tires and everything. And then Fernando just came to the afternoon, when the track was just dry. He first session, bam, 1 second faster than me. I was, man, what? Why I'm so slow? And then, okay, at the end of the day, I kept driving, and I was like 3/10, 4/10 slower than him.
Yeah.
And then in the night, I didn't have sleep so well. I was like, man, 4/10 slower. What?
Just kept you up all night long. Yeah.
Yes. So the next day, I improved, but he was not driving anymore because he had some appointments. I don't know if I was going to be at the same level as him or not. For sure, he was going to still be faster than me. But yeah, we don't know. I want to drive again with him. Fernando, I need a revenge, mate.
Why don't we all go down?
Fernando, we'd like to drive with
We'll
you.
all come down to the karting track and set a few laps.
Yeah, maybe you'll let us do it for free.
Speaking of laps,
nicely. Oh, yeah.
we do have the fastest lap leaderboard coming up, but let's quickly touch on Silverstone that's just happened this weekend. You were there racing. We were in the Trident garage. We saw you go out. And how is that race for you? Do you like Silverstone?
Yeah, it's a track that I've not been so much times, just in the sim quite a lot. But it's a track that I love, to be fair. It's one of the best tracks I've raced in. And yeah, I'm really grateful to be able to drive in a track like that. And I didn't have the best result of the season. I was expecting more. The car was probably good enough to be on pole and win.
Yep.
Because my teammates did that.
Okay.
I have done a mistake on quali, so I lost the opportunity to be there. But still, race 1 was very good. P2.
P2 and
yeah.
then P5?
Yeah, P2 from P8 and P6 in race 2 in the feature, starting P5. It was very difficult feature race for me. We didn't have so much to pace. But still, I loved racing there. So good.
It's an amazing track. But yeah, as Fab said, we had Brad on yesterday, who came and went top of the pit stop fastest lap, which blew us away because Oscar has been top for so long. It's basically Austria. You're going to get like 3-4 practice laps, and then we do 3 timed laps. And yeah, are you any good on a sim? You fancying yourself?
Yeah, normally I'm okay, but I don't know in the F1 game. I don't play it.
Well,
I never played before.
Word of warning, the pedals are not screwed down. So they move around a little bit. We just haven't screwed the bolts on. But that's been the same for everyone, so now we don't want to change it.
Amazing. Let's go for it.
Let's do that.
Gabriel Bortoleto, here he is, pit stop fastest lap. What can he do?
As you can see, I'm still doing really well on the leaderboard. Rock bottom.
Johnny Herbert, you're not much slower than Johnny Herbert though.
I don't know who's blown it more, me or Johnny.
When the day comes that someone is slower than you, that's going to be a sad, sad day.
It's going to be the best day of my life.
Tough.
Lift and coast, very nice.
Yeah. Do you know what that means? Nah. Feeling the pressure?
Man, mega pressure. More than the proper racing, you know.
Gabby, how do you think you've done on the pit stop fastest lap?
To be honest, I don't think I went so well. But let's see.
Where would you like to be on the board?
I would like to be P1, but I'm not sure I will be P1.
Well, we just heard that you've been thinking about this all day. This has been a big thing, has it?
Yeah, after I see so many good names there, you know, I need to be at the same level at least.
Well, you've done the pit stop fastest lap in a 1 minute. That's a good start. 06.
Eesh.
How do you feel about that?
Said already.
Said already?
Not on the top 3.
We're not on the top 3, but remember what they said in Brazil, 6 people on the podium. You have done the pit stop fastest lap in a 1:06.224, which puts us right here, right there. Oh, there goes that. Oh, which puts us right here, right below Matt Gallagher.
1, 2, 3.
And Matt Gallagher uses a sim every day, so that isn't bad at all. He lives on his simulator. How do you feel about that?
I'm impressed, mate.
Oh, you're gonna have to come back next time you're in London after the season. Once you've won their free championship, we'll go out, celebrate it, and then we'll get you a new time.
When we finish everything, I do more laps. I cannot go home think that I was so off like this.
Round of applause, guys.
Let's go.
I'm not in the podium, mate. I'm P7. I'm out of the podium.
Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4.
You can't even.
Yeah, not even on the podium in Brazil. I found it interesting enough that you decided to have shoes on doing it. Everyone else has took their shoes off. Does that not bother you, having shoes on?
I
the
don't
sim?
know, to be honest. The pedal is very soft, so...
We can look for excuses now, though.
Yes, this is the shoes. The problem. If there was
how
not
would
the
you
shoes,
do
I
it
would
then?
be 104.
Honestly, Gabby, thank you so much
Thanks
for coming
to
on
you.
the podcast, and thank you so much for staying in London and coming to do the show with us, because we've been speaking for a while, and I've been really excited to get you on.
Yeah.
It's been amazing watching your season in F3, and I'm so excited for the last three races. See, 3 races left, isn't there?
Yes,
Yeah.
Hungaroring, Spa, and Monza.
That's the one. See how you get on.
I have one question for you. I ask everyone at the end. If you weren't a racing driver, what would you be doing with your life?
Good question, that one. It's very difficult to answer. It's difficult. I never stopped to think about that, but I think I would be a tennis player.
Yeah?
Really?
I don't know. I like the way that this sport is, tennis.
Yeah.
You don't have an excuse there. It's you, yourself, and training,
Yeah.
And then when you are on court, it's you against the guy. There is no excuse, no wind, a ball that is like this or that. You need to be good, and that's it.
Yeah, it's another
No,
solo
I like
sport.
this sport, to be fair. I don't practice because I want to start, but I never practice that much. But I like the way that this sport is. But yeah, if I was not a racer, for sure, if I was not a motorsport, for example, I would like to be on MotoGP.
On bikes?
Yes, racing. Wow. I need engine on my life.
Yeah.
Have you rode bikes before?
Yes, I did sometimes, but I did like 4 times, and the 4 times I fall down. So.
Oh, really? It's completely different to driving a car.
Yes,
man.
I also want to say before we go, just so you know, I've spoke to a lot of people about you and about that you were coming on. And a lot of people have said to me, out of everyone they know, they're pretty sure that you'll become an F1 driver. Like, a lot of people really believe in you and really back you.
He looks like an
You
F1
do
driver.
look like an F1
You have the look, man.
But I just wonder for you, like, do you feel the pressure, or is that's just a dream?
Absolutely not, mate. I think it's just a dream that every year is coming closer and closer. But it also depends, It looks so close now because I'm, probably moving to F2 in the future. But at the same time, it's still so
hard.
far because I need to still do a very good season in F3 to finish very well in F3 and do a very good season in F2 because we've seen so many guys, talented drivers that have done, like Schwartzman, for example. He was P1 in F3, P2 in F2, and he didn't got the seat in F1. So, you see...
And now he's making music.
Now he's making music.
Yeah.
I actually sent him a voice message and asked if I could be on one of his tracks. Didn't reply.
You
yet.
rapped on our podcast, didn't you?
Yeah.
No, you rapped on the podcast.
No, I rapped. Yeah, I was going to say he didn't rap.
He played us one of his songs.
Thank you so much for coming on, man. I hope you have a great rest of the day. Let's go get some food or go get a drink or something before you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
That'd be great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening to the Pitstop podcast. Rate it 5 stars, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you guys soon. Thank you very much. Quality. Thank you. Cheers, man. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, guys. Can I do one more lap?
What was that?
Mate, it's fire.